Hello. So first of all, welcome to Life Transformed. I am super excited that you guys signed up for our emails. Going to be some awesome things that you're going to see. Right? Our whole goal is to get you from isolation to community. That's what it's all about. And I'm going to do a lesson today, one of my favorite lessons from one of my good buddies, good friends, John Maxwell. It's called The Law of the Lid. Now, this lesson can apply to you really in all facets of your life. Specifically, John focuses on leadership. But remember, we're all leaders, right? Because leadership, in its simplest terms, is just influence. So if you're a dad or a mom in the home, you are a leader. If you're on a sports team and you're a teen, you're a leader. You can influence. If you're a friend and you guys are trying to decide where are we going to go, to have coffee today, you can influence by saying, "Hey, I think this is the place to go." All right. So let's dive right in, and let's talk about the law of the lid. So, the law of the lid, and again, I'm going to be talking in terms of leadership today, but it can be applied to anything. So, what I want you to do is think about any situation. If you're a mom or a dad or a leader at work or whatever it may be, and if I were to ask you, okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think? How would you rate your leadership? You may say 4 or 5 or 7 or 8 or whatever it may be. All right, once you get that number in your head, right? Here's the key. The law of the lid says, wherever you are, let's say you say, well, I'm a 6. So, whether it be your family, if you're leading your family, if you're leading a group at work, if it's a nonprofit, anything like that, the highest that group or that team is ever going to get is probably a 5, right? Because everything rises and falls on leadership, right? So if you're a 6, that team, that group, whatever, is only going to rise to about a 5. So the law of the lid says increase your leadership, increase your business, increase the effectiveness of your family. Everything increases if you increase your leadership. And that's what, really we are all about is growth, personal growth. So you've got to be able to grow yourself so that can manifest itself across your life. If you don't grow, your life's not going to grow in its simplest terms, all right? So again, everything rises and falls on leadership. There was a guy named Dan Stevenson who had a business that he basically would take over failing resorts, right? That was what they did. They purchased these resorts and then they'd bring in their crew and they'd revitalize these resorts and get them rolling again. So John asked him, all right, so what are the things that you do when you first take over a resort? He said, well, the first thing we do is we bring in all of the staff, the frontline staff, so the people at the front desk, the people that are greeting folks, as they get out of their cars to go into the resort, and they train them all on customer service. Because the guests that are coming, that's what they know the resort for, and that is going to be their impression. However they were treated when they first pulled up, the front desk, who was cleaning the rooms, all those sorts of things. So they trained those folks and really trained them on customer service and being responsive. And then the other thing they did was they fired the leader. Oh, man. Seems pretty harsh. And John was like, well, don't you just kind of talk to them and get a feel? And the guy's like, no. He said, John, it's the law of the lid, right? That organization is only going to go as high as that leader is. So if that leader in that resort was only a 5, his organization, that business, could only get to a 4. So they needed new leadership, right, to take that business where it needed to go. So the question that I ask is, what's easier, to go from failure to success or from excuses to success? Right? it's failure to success. Yes. Because if you make excuses, oh, we didn't succeed because the economy was bad. Oh, we didn't succeed because I didn't hire the right people. Oh, you just can go on and on and on. And you're not going to get to success that way. So what I always like to say is the buck stops here. And this is in life in general. If you can take full responsibility for exactly where you are right now, and of course there are circumstances that are out of our control that, yes, you can make a case, this happened, so that's why I'm here. But I'm just saying in a general sense, right? If you can say, I am exactly where I am because of the decisions I made, the choices I made. In other words, the buck stops here. No excuses. The buck stops here. The beauty of that is a year from now, 2 years from now, guess what? It's all up to you. Wherever you are 2 years from now, the buck stops here. It gives you this great sense of, I can control my destiny. Because now the decisions I made got me to where I am, no excuses. So the decisions I make in the future are going to get me where I'm going to go, no excuses. And that is personal growth, the law of the lid. Increase, right? Increase, grow. And then everything around you is going to grow. So the question I have for you is, what is the lid on your leadership? Right? Just think about it. If you have a piece of paper or something, kind of write it down. No matter what setting, as a parent, as a team member, at school, if you're a teen or you're in college and you're part of a team, anywhere you have to influence. What do you think your leadership number is? What is the lid? Where are you at now? 5, 6, whatever. And the next question would be, would those around you that you have to interact with agree with that assessment? So for instance, if I said I'm an 8 and I talk to the people around me and they're like, dude, I think you're a 4. I'm like, ooh, right? There may be a little delusion going on here. So I need to ask some questions and understand where my blind spots are. So once you go through those two things, so again, number 1, what is the lid on my leadership? Number 2, ask those around you what they think your leadership level is, 1 to 10. And then the third one is, what do I plan to do to increase my lid? All right. What is my goal, right, to grow in the next month, 6 months, year, right? There's a popular school of thought that says you need to invest 10% of what you earn back into yourself. I've heard up to 20%, 30%, whatever it may be. But the point is, you have to continuously grow, right? Because then, again, as you raise your lid, those around you will raise. Everything rises and falls with leadership. Next question is, what are the lids of those around me, right? That work with me, those sorts of things. Because, let's say, you feel like you're a 5, but the people you surround yourself with, maybe they're other leaders, could be other parents, other moms, other dads. If their lids are 3 and you're at a 5, my question is that the kind of environment that's going to help you raise your lid? Give you that inspiration, that motivation, that role model, if you will, to go higher. So take a look at the lids of those around you. And my challenge is, if you don't see people that have, let's say you're a 6 and you see people that are 7s, 8s, you're like, wow, I love what they're doing. Then you're probably in a good place. You're in a good environment. But if you're surrounded with a bunch of 1s and 2s, you may want to take a look at that, right? Because that is not going to help you grow and increase your lid, right? And then the last question is, what is my plan to increase the lids of those around me? If these people they have to be in your life for whatever reason, and their lids are a little bit lower, if you're intentional about that, and you talk about that, and you show them this training and that sort of thing, it shows that you're being proactive and you're concerned about them. And it really can create some great momentum. So that is the law of the lid. So just always, it's a great thing. I always keep in mind, how am I going to raise my lid to grow, right? And if you're not growing, guess what? You're dying. There is no there's no destination, you guys. You can't just like get to a spot and say, oh, I've made it. Life doesn't work that way. There are always going to be bumps in the road. There are going to be circumstances. It's not a destination. But here's the fun part. The more you raise that lid, it's the journey and it's who you become in the whole personal growth world. Who you become. You're going to look back a year from now, 2 years from now and go, holy cow, look at me. I'm not even close to the person I was before. So thank you so much. That is the law of the lid. Just a small sampling of the kind of things that we can do within Life Transformed. All right, till next time.